Let's do it.
Look, my roommates were doing dishes at like 2 o'clock in the morning last night, so they could deal with me shouting bright and early here. We've got Winstrike and Gambit squaring off on train early on. Kristen's going to pick up a bit of utility for the T side. We've got decoys on the CT side. I've been seeing more and more teams pick up the decoys at $50 that gets you a fake flash. So I kind of enjoy that trend. There's some cheeky decoy strats you can run. I mean, on train, right, what you could do is you can fake that utility towards Z or fake that utility outside and just have players react to the nade positioning before they realize, oh, that's a decoy.
Yeah, you don't be able to really wait and see what it is, as it looks like first contact finally going to be found there for Hobbit. Takes one shot and just instantly backs back away. Of course, doesn't want to be getting caught in the meantime, though. Alien would have creeped out towards Olaf on that P250, not only getting a kill, but now dinking down Nafany as well. So it looks like with that, they are going to bring it back towards A. The smoke goes down towards Ivy, I believe that is. They took out one of the players who was actually around the bomb train, so that low health player only now being finished off, meaning it's very quickly a 5-on-2. Inters and Hobbit, they don't currently have a kit in play, and this is going to be a tough one unless we see Winstrike overextend in here. If they just sit back and start running down that time, then this retake should be near impossible.
But they have the decoys, Dean. This is the critical piece.
True,
Here.
they've won. I forgot it.
Elite decoy strats. Now, this is going to be not impossible. I think we're actually seeing them set up for exits, which I guess considering they have sets of armor, that makes sense. Try and make a little bit of extra money here on these exit kills. Try and get a little bit of cash rolling for your team. Oh, Hobbit. I think he's been spotted. No, not yet, but he is eliminated. Prison comes hunting. Prison collects that particular head to hang from his belt. Really good pistol round for Winstrike. Obviously, they give the hero P250 over, the raid boss buy, if you will, to Alien, and he rewards them for it. 3 kills with that pistol. Heavy damage done early on. And out to the 1-0 already with really style.
We do have a bit of a technical pause coming in, guys. Hopefully something that isn't going to take too long to be fixed up. But yeah, as you said, a fantastic pistol round there from Winstrike, able to get the opening kills and then just play off straight towards that A bomb site, really. I mean, as I had said, it was almost done before we could even see those rotations come in from the final 2 players. Once you get a 5-on-2 with the bomb plant, there's very, very little chance of being able to come back in those pistol rounds. If you have a kit, maybe, and if the T's overextend, we see it happen, but it's normally when you're in the 5-on-2, you get the bomb down, you're feeling like, yeah, we can just put an end to this, you push through and the Blues in 1 or 2 players, and then suddenly it gets scary. But Winstrike, as you had said, with this map being a must-win for them in this series, I don't think they're going to be making any silly mistakes like that. I think we might see maybe some more normal Counter-Strike. It's when we get the Vertigo where I think they're just going to go all out and just be like, screw it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, I mean, I don't think this is going to play into the narrative that you had last time of the infinite force buys, just because on the CT side, especially when you get nothing on your pistol round, which they have gotten a whole fat lot of nothing, there's so little that you can do with it in terms of the force that it really is tempting to just sit back and wait for the buy. Now, scouts, though. Scouts are where it gets spicy. You break out multiple scouts. Suddenly, you've got those long sight lines to nail shots with the scouts. You can collect some bodies with the deagles. But I expect this to, well, you know, I'm not going to say it, because if I say it
got
won't
body
happen.
armor already on Inters, to be fair.
That's all you need. Buy the rest.
No, so I feel like we probably will see them go for the force buy here. 1
You
decoy,
think
though, as
so?
well. Maybe, I don't know. Do you not think so? No. Do you think they're going to take the 1 eco? I mean,
sitting on 2K.
I'm fine with that, but then going into the first gun round, they're not going to have the op on the Shiro, and they'll have very few nades as well. But I mean,
that's true.
It's either way. It depends which way you feel it, but I feel like having a player like Shiro, you want to get him the op as soon as possible. Obviously, you could probably get it quicker if you win out the first gun round by just taking the eco here, but you do be a little bit limited going into it. But I mean, we'll see what happens after the pause is removed. Of course, still a bit of chatting to be done. They could still even change their mind if they wanted.
They certainly could. We've got the AKs coming out early for Winstrike. I don't think they want to mess around. The SMGs are always trickier to make work on this map. You can use them in a couple positions. Obviously, clearing ladder, clearing Ivy, pressure in towards the inner sight is a great way to do it. But you want the rifles, and you don't really want to be taking the SMGs down. So we're seeing the rifles come out early. We're not really seeing them mess around with it too much. Galil coming through. This should just be a pretty straightforward bind to this. Hopefully we're going to get this technical pause unpaused in just a few moments, and it won't last too long. It's always a bummer when we have that. momentum come in and then just have it get shut down, right? You had such a dominant pistol round. You kind of want to just run away with that. You kind of want to just chase them down and say, yeah, that's right. We stuffed you in the pistol round without you really being able to shoot back. That's how every round is going to be. Now, this gives Gambit a little bit of room to breathe and say, okay, this happened. Coin flip. You know, we lost the coin flip this time around, but everything's going to be A-okay. We do have the single MAC-10 brought in. That's the scout buy. We should be having this unpaused in just a moment, folks. We should be having that come in. So 264 ADR through the first round. Elian, you think he's going to be able to improve those numbers, Dean? You think he's going to be able to get those numbers up for us?
He'll improve all the numbers except for one, which is the ADR. I think he'll improve his kills, assists, and deaths by the end of the game. And yeah, I think that's proved I'm the best analyst ever. Thanks.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's in-depth analysis they bring us here for.
I think he'll definitely keep it up as being one of the top fraggers. I mean, we expected that. We're waiting to see him get the op out as well for when he's up against Shiro. Oh, we're seeing that force play. We're seeing it, Mike. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the op battle. But it might be delayed a little bit depending on how this one goes. Obviously, if Gambit can win this one out, then it'll be Winstrike on a week buy. If Winstrike managed to win this one, then Gambit have to take the eco. So at that point, then Winstrike could be able to get a few rounds in a row before the guns come out. So yeah, I mean, this one, of course, is going to be pretty important. The force buy has come in from Gambit. We were thinking we wouldn't see it, or at least I was thinking maybe just because I want to see, as I said, the ability for them to get the op in the first gun round. But the scouts as well, they can be ridiculous. And I've seen Shiro have some insane rounds with this weapon, and they also have Axile on one. So let's see what damage they can combine. Shiro already peeking towards upper B, does hit the shot, but doesn't get the kill, and I like it. There was a double peek from above and below right there. So making sure even if he did get the headshot onto one, that they were going to have the instant trade.
This is really quite nicely set up from them. Obviously, Shiro wants to just hit that shot and just bail out of there. And to be honest, even if he doesn't hit the headshot, if there's only one there, he probably escapes. Didn't have the head armor. It didn't have any armor, actually. It was glass cannon. Glass water cannon, I suppose. But look at what this has done. Off of that one kill, they've drawn 3 players in towards the inner site. They want to reinforce here. They want to give that scout an opportunity to shoot out. Little bit of tag damage coming in through A, but what we might wind up seeing here is if an A take comes in, they might just bail. They might just bail, sacrifice Nafani, leave him out for dead, and keep the guns going into the next round. You can see the hesitance around Z to commit in. He's got an angle now, looking for the headshot. That's Exile. Looking to see if he can't do some damage, but if he can, quick retreat. There's the kill. There's a gun retrieved as well. Galil now found. Things are starting to get spicy, but they've isolated that player, and Lack can just come in to secure it. No problem here. Now bomb's going to go down. It seems like it's going to be tested. They're going to retake. And they're losing bodies left, right, and center, so I don't think it's going to work out too well. The one thing about the scout is if you don't get the damage coming through, you got to leave it to the Deagle. Inter's ready for it. There's Hobbit. All onto Bondic now. This has turned on a dime. This round looked like it was all but wrapped up. Put a bow on it. Now they can't get anything. Bondic can't line up the spray. Hobbit puts him down. Hobbit gets an upgrade. The defuse will come through, and Gambit have won the force buy. It looked dire. It looked like they were going to be completely shut out of the round once more. But all of a sudden, a cheeky play with the Deagle from Inters comes around the corner, and they're right back into the action.
Yeah, that's insane. As you said, it looked like it was already gone for them, but they're able to pull it back from that big Deagle play. And also, just initially when the push was coming out from Winstrike, with the fact that they were delayed so much by this 1 or 2 trades back and forth, it slowed them down slightly, let Gambit get themselves into position, and then, yeah, the plays came off the back of it. Now it's, of course, Winstrike who are on a pretty weak buy. Thanks to the bomb plant, at least, it's not quite as weak as what Gambit were working with. They get a scout, they get a couple of Galils as well. Nades-wise, though, extremely limited. And we see also a relatively safe investment from Gambit, being able to carry over a couple AKs, getting 1 more M4 behind it, and then a couple of SMGs as well. So nothing too crazy in their buy. But as I had said, the last time that I seen these 2 teams play each other, they were not able to be separated up until around round 9 or 10. It was just constant force buys back and forth. So, I mean, I'm hoping we don't see that, but at the same time, I'm also hoping we do, because that would be ridiculous. So that would be interesting to make. But no, this round, it shouldn't be too much of a struggle. It's been very slow, though, from Winstrike so far. Mostly focused around main. They do have 1 player on Pop Dog and 1 at Ivy then as well, just making sure they don't get pushed on either extremity of the from either extremity rather of the map. That molly maybe a little bit too late. 1 player though had made it out in the second as well, but they weren't able to get the trade, and that's the bomb now dropped.
Caught up with Ivy, but that's actually the bait in for Alien to hit the shot out of T-Con. Damage done. We saw this before. We saw a round turn on its head from a Galil, or rather a Scout and its Eagle. The Scout's been dropped. The Galil's now out. Prison's worked his way back through. If the skill enough money can come through, and it does. Suddenly the site's wide open. Problem is they don't have the bomb. If they had the bomb here, this is very winnable. You can get that bomb planted in towards the B bomb site. You got the round coming through. As it is, I think Alien needs Prison to create something here. It's coming out Z. They might have lost track of his position, and the coordination wasn't there. Now Axile's going to get the kill because Prison was looking for the guy out towards Z-Box. So the round is taken back under control. Gambit, it looked dangerous there for a hot second as they hunted a little bit too aggressively, but with control of the bomb, they always had a bead on it. They were always going to force Winstrike into the angles they wanted to hold. We got some Shiro numbers coming through here. 231 damage in round 3. It's a good round. Good round. And now he's got the op.
Yeah, I think we'll be getting many of those good rounds from Shiro. Yeah, as you said, coming up with the op here. Up against the pistols, though, I mean, he has it out at least so it's ready for that next gun round, but it can get a little dangerous if he gets rushed down and overwhelmed, but I don't think he's going to have too much trouble when he's just sticking towards the back of B. A good setup as well towards this side of the map where it looks like the hit is going to come in. Nades-wise, what do they have left? Shiro does have a molly and a HE, but I don't know if he's going to have time to get it down. Instead, likely just going to have to hit the shot here as the push comes in, and so far that is not happening. Eventually, Shiro gets one. Could go down, and of course, with that, fuel up the buy a little bit in the following for Winstrike. Here we go, 1 kill comes in. Considering this is just the full eco, 1 frag and a bomb plant is quite a bit of success. Winstrike can be happy with how that went.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely what they were trying to get done, and that's the problem with the AWP, is in that angle, you're just trying to throw bodies at it to come up the works, right? Even if he hits every shot, you're probably still getting that bomb planted, and he missed 1, and that was all they needed, to have 2 players alive on play with that bomb down. Didn't turn that into a whole lot more. Obviously, Inters got ran down with the rifle in hand, but a little bit of damage. They'll be able to drop the SMG. They won't need to take that through. They'll get the upgrades on everybody going forward. The Galil still lives. That was Inters' Galil, presumably, that lives into the next. Actually, I think that came off one of the Winstrike players, so that's intentionally picked up as there was an M4 available. But we'll see. We're going to get the op duel for the first time. Alien's been good. He was the pistol round winner for them with the 3 kills with the P250. Now he's got the big green. And a square off, perhaps on the cards. That's number 5. He's out towards Ivy. They're pressuring in onto Hobbit. So we're not going to get the op duel just yet, but it's going to be left to Hobbit to patrol. And he's hearing these hops. That's a lot of noise made. Now, that might have just been bait to draw him through because they're going to back right off of it, but I think he's heard this as well, so he's taking the space. Love this from Hobbit. He's now found all the room. Might even get the backstab shot here, and he does indeed. There's the kill. There's the opera down. And just like that, so many bodies are gone. So much of the map is shrunk. There's not a lot to work with, and they've still got to contend with Hobbit. Out by the dumpster, he's putting them in it. And Winstrike find themselves with nowhere to go. Bondek left, the leader of the squad, but what can you do? The answer, Dean, is not a lot.
Yeah, that is just ridiculous from Hobbit. I like the initiative, as you said, the follow when he heard those footsteps backing away. Maybe a bit risky since they already had a 5-on-3, but asserting the dominance early on. And as Hobbit said, in these CIS games, you can't really prep too much for everything. It's just crazy. You don't always know what your opponents are going to do, and I think that kind of worked in favor of Gambit right there. Yeah, back onto the eco again for Winstrike. No bomb plant, of course, in that previous round, so there's not really much they can do to actually pull out the buy. But, I mean, with the success they found towards B in that previous one, when they only had Glocks and such, having some Deagles now, having a smoke and a flash as well, maybe they can find that opening and get the bomb down again. As it looks like they do want to bring it in this direction. This time only having the 1 player as well. They've actually gambled Shiro over towards A initially. He's going to start making his way back, but will he be there in time? Question. As Inters doesn't want to get caught out in the open, and he does. That's going to be an M4 now handed over. 3 players moving in from connector with the T's closing in the distance. That can get incredibly dangerous with these Deagles. And of course with Nickelback on the M4 itself, but he's been dropped. Shiro holding back in from the spawn. Bondik at least gets to trade onto the player up above. And get the AK with that, but there's just too many angles to deal with. as it falls all onto Crizzen. He was shooting already, but I should know where he is. And yeah, indeed, Axel was watching for it. The bomb was already planted default as well, so there wasn't much he could do to actually stop that defuse from coming in. Even if he got the first and second kill right there, Hobbit would have been on it already, although he didn't have a kit. But either way, 5-1 for Gambit. I mean, considering what they were up against, maybe again a little bit shaky, but their previous gun round had been so clean that it just doesn't matter. Their economy is still just rolling. They're rolling in dough right now, rather.
Yeah, I think it's an incredible recovery from them as well. I mean, you considering they're a 5v4, right? Once you get forward, once you get those angles between the train cars, deagle doesn't matter. Deagle's actually really potent when you can play around the train car, players hopping up or around them. You just need to hit that one shot or two bodies and suddenly another guy's on the ground. So that was such a risky situation for Gambit. We had Shiro hold from back and spawn. He takes that first kill, and that really uncorks the bottle for them to get back through it. I honestly think Winstrike may have hunted that a little too aggressively, which is odd to say because that's exactly what you do normally in that situation. But it didn't work out for them, and that's going to be a big missed opportunity. If they could have taken that round, if they could have taken that upset round, suddenly they're back into this and they're very competitive. And as it stands right now, Gambit are building a bit of a monolith. There's a player down ladder that was spotted. Back out of it, and this is a bold play, right? The focus it paid. Now they come around and he's dead. Nothing he can do about it. Nafani gets his bell rung, and suddenly they're a man down with no ability to punish.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he actually wanted to go in there. Did he have a teammate holding a flash or anything, or was it just kind of a bait and switch between him and the Opera E-Box?
I think he was hoping for the creep out in towards Olaf, and then the punish to come through for that, or someone to try and walk through the smoke. I'm not sure exactly what the read was there. Seemed like a bold maneuver, and, well...
These footsteps were heard before they actually went down on the B as they were through the halls as well, but... The B control initially taken. Is the bomb still up in the halls? Is that Axel right now that's actually moved up the ladder? Is he holding control of it? No. If he gets that kill on the Crizzen, then the round is pretty much done. Already anyway, it is 2-on-3, so a pretty difficult spot to be in for Winstrike, but they've got the trade, and importantly have got that explosive device now back in their possession. But what do they do with it? They've only 20 seconds, and both players fairly tagged up. They're going to walk out into Hobbit, and he holds tight. Both kills coming through, 6-1 for Gambit. Again, a bit of a closer round, but as the scoreline continues to grow, as the lead continues to grow for Gambit, I don't think they're too worried. Again, with also their economy being pretty ridiculous.
Not at all. Love this replay coming through. I mean, it's a very simple, clinical play, but that's exactly what Hobbit makes it look like. He stays disciplined, he stays on the train car, he doesn't force the issue, lures them back down the ladder, and then goes in for the punish. And you talked about him as potentially being a deciding factor for them in this game, right? He's stepping up to the plate massively. 8-1-1 early on. We obviously had that push out towards Ivy, which was a little bit bolder, but it was the savvy play. And apart from that, he has just been the disciplined member and the reliable member for them, the backstop, if you will, when they need to get back into a round, when they've lost a take, perhaps. That's what they rely on. They're going to lose a player again here, and we've seen a couple of these opening picks for Winstrike. Haven't been able to materialize them into rounds and inters. He's gonna get one, he's gonna get two. He's shutting it down again. Molly will go in. Should keep him safe here on the back of the train yard. Oh, can't quite line up that kill on Nickelback, but look at that damage done. They are limping away, and they've lost better holds. Need to get this bomb planted, but Nickelback knows he can't do it securely. Find the space, just find the gap, but he wants another kill, and his teammate's now low as well. It's not looking good, Dean.
Oh, actually catches Nafani. Oh, okay. Somehow it's a 2-on-1. Does he know where that final player is? In behind the orange train at the moment in a bit of an awkward spot. They do have time to work with, though, so they're not in too much of a rush. But also, that scout can, rather that op, of course, can cause some serious damage. But with the low health, not too big of a deal. We'll see if he resorts to the pistol or if he can trade out to a rifle, perhaps. Or maybe if he just instantly calls for the save as the bomb goes down. It looks like that's actually going to be what's going on. With 6.9k, I thought he was going to give it a go. That's what I was getting towards the low health. I thought maybe he'd even just pull out the P250 and try and give it a shot. But no, I mean, playing very conservatively here. They are still going to be up 6-2, so I don't mind it. It'll save them some money in the long run because obviously reinvest into the next round. If they needed that up onto Shuro and such, then they would be left with very little. But I still feel like the rest of the players probably won't have too much going into the round afterwards if they were to lose this next one either way. So it's a bit of an awkward spot, but we'll see. The op is going to be carried over. Will we see any switch-ups? Will we maybe even see a double op setup?
We could perhaps. I think that the issue here is that we had some unconfirmed damage. Clearly Winstrike wasn't, Gambit wasn't as confident in the damage that they'd done. Because Shiro could have retaken this with a P250. I think if he has a rifle, he tries that 100% of the time. That's a little bit of a disappointment here for Gambit, especially considering how much it seemed like they had Winstrike on the ropes. Nickelback hesitating to plant that bomb, giving the time for his teammates to find some kills, for his teammate to find one, and he himself to make it work. Mindro putting them on the round, and that's a round that Winstrike desperately needed. The double up does come out. Hobbit picking up the secondary. And that I actually find interesting, considering what a role that Hobbit's been playing in terms of being that sort of boundary pusher, being that guy who bails them out of a tough situation. Good damage done to Nickelback early on. Nades. He wants to send some bullets back up and turn. Can he get out of this? Likely not. Smoke goes down. And he'll go ahead and chill in towards ladder.
Yeah, I mean, taking some damage, but they traded it back as well, so it's not too bad of a position for Nafany. But yeah, as you said, it's interesting to see Hobbit. I guess with the position he's been playing relatively passive around the, well, initially around like Sandwich and stuff, it wasn't a bad spot, but we'll see what he gets to do with it in this round. They actually have both towards B. Shooting one rather towards the lower ramp then to try and act as a bit of a bait. But no one, for now anyway, for Winstrike is going to be moving in towards B. Smokes and such towards the A bomb site, getting ready now to move down through Pop Dog as well, as it does just look like it's going to be the quick A hit. For the moment, 4 players actually in position as well for Gambit. They've got a lead on this one already, apparently. Nafany did open up, but Axel wasn't able to hang on, and Krizen creeped in up close. I was going to say that player on the bomb site could be in trouble, but if he tries to get the bomb down, then it could be the other way around, but no, the cover is there. Alien found Inters, Bondig then instantly dropping Nafany as well. They were in sync with it, and again, the save has to be called for, definitely this time with the double up setup. This makes complete sense, because they actually have to drop over to Nafany, and I believe Axel could probably do with a drop as well to ensure he'll have nades available. But yeah, Winstrike, they're doing it. They're grinding back these rounds.
They certainly are. That's a big miss. Would have been a chance for a punish. Now they could chase. They're not going to. I like that conservative call from Winstrike. They're content with leaving the double up because they don't want to, chase bodies down there and lose them. This will allow them more rounds. So a third round on the board. Winstrike now half their opponent's scoreline, but clawing back to this, as you said, by saving the double up here, they avoid economic trouble for another day. Shiro's got 9k in the bank. He can certainly drop a gun without even any concern. He's going to drop 2, and he'll still be able to buy in the next regardless of what happens here. So he's the bankroll for the team. You can see they're all hovering around 2k except for Nafany, so they'll be okay going forward. But here's where the pressure starts to mount. Here's where the pressure starts to come on, where we need to see the players step up, because it feels like Winstrike have found their tune these last couple of rounds. Even when some of the opening picks have gone against them, Winstrike have been able to find the space and get the punch in. That's a good early Molotov. Nades come out. That gives a heavy indication of early positioning. Counter nade comes through, and while it won't find a lot, they should know that no one can get up. And that deep molly out towards Ivy. I like that as well. But Axel tries to go forward onto it. They'll be traded by the long op, but I don't love that trade for Gambit.
No, obviously not ideal, especially now a Hobbit actually getting pressured around Ivy. Yeah, I was kind of surprised that Lackey took the peek back in there, because they have a lot of the times just had the opper posted up on main. We even seen that kind of couple players up close, and then the op posted as well before, back in, I think it was the first gun round. So yeah, I'm just surprised he was so willing to peek out as he did towards the stop sign. They've still got a good position, though. So Winstrike, what did they decide to do with it? Well over a minute, not in too much of a rush, but they are putting some pressure just across the map, running down what already is a very limited, rather, set of nades. And Nafany just about makes it out, thankfully. But now there's 2 of those CTs on the brink of death. Gambit are going to be able, or rather, Winstrike are going to be able to get themselves this Pop Dog control as well. And it looks like with this, they will be setting themselves up to take it towards A. And for the moment, Gambit don't know that. They actually gambled a second player back towards B. So it's going to have to be Nafany on the bomb site who puts in a big hold to help him Hobbit, who was in the back lines initially, but he has gotten one. Fell back in towards the ladder, spotted the head up on top of the blue train as well. They haven't pinned in for the moment, but importantly, he's just staying alive.
I don't think they can justify a save here, so they really do need to make this happen. Nafany's trying to open up, and he's gonna somehow survive. So low. One bullet will find him, and that'll kill him, but he's going to be able to get one more. Not the 2v2. Are they going to commit to it? Shiro wants to. Certainly wants to come into the angle. IEM has a great position, though, to control these 2 offers. Way out Ivy, and he's got the first, and that should do it. That should be enough. Time's not there anymore. Hobbit doesn't even have a kit, and he won't be able to escape either. So the full punishment, everyone's exterminated, and this is the problem for Gambit now. They've been figured out. This is now 3 rounds in a row for Winstrike. This is the punishment coming through. Even when they get picks, they get pushed upon, and Winstrike, I think, are just learning to lose the fear. right? Even when that
Mhm.
initial fight goes against them, just keep going. Seize the ground, seize the ground. If they want to play double op, force them to deal with the consequences of it.
Yeah, I mean, they're likely hitting 5 rounds already here on their T side, which is honestly pretty decent with the ability, obviously, to add a few more. And considering how it had started, being down 6-1, that's fantastic. So, yeah, this is really turned around quickly. This round, I mean, you can't count Gambit out completely. They have some Kevlar behind those pistols as well. They are going for some pushes. Two players at least up through the B halls initially. Good control, but there is going to be now Winstrike as well moving in this direction, but the flash goes in. Oh, a team kill ends up actually coming through from Krisen. Takes out Bondic, unfortunately, but he was blind. We can't blame him. At least he got the trade, and also, of course, doesn't allow the weapon to be picked up, so it's not that big of a deal.
It's the most effective flashbang ever, though. Flash a guy, he kills his teammate. I want those flashes.
It turns them into a traitor.
Deep control, it's like the mind control flash. You want to
Don't give Valve ideas, bro.
You are getting very sleepy. We're going to have a little bit of a shift over towards Ivy, it seems. There's deep control towards T-Con, but that might actually lure them into a false sense of security here. Because they've got a ladder. They've got T-Con. It's like, well, certainly they're not going to come Ivy with no one in T-Con, right? Except that that's exactly what they're going to do. They got 3 players coming down the way here. Exile's just backed off of it. Oh, this timing is going to be brutal. Smokes and flashes are going to get thrown over. That'll isolate the ladder position. So they draw the pistol players back in. Going in dry, ironically, might have been the ticket here. But what can they do? They're a little bit in awkward spots. They push towards Old Bomb and Bomb Train. Nafany, that's a huge kill to find, though. Now he has a rifle to play. Back out of T-Con with good trade from Exile. All on to Alien. Alien's been taken down to half, and he will be eliminated by that found rifle. Big round for Nafany. Huge round for him. He basically won that for them. First of all, off of the ground that he took in towards T-Con, there was a huge amount of information for the team. Then he gets the kill with the CZ, picks up the rifle, gets the follow-up. That's Gambit. Back off of an eco round, Dean.
Yeah, I mean, and that was looking so good for Winstrike. Gambit, just as the hit was coming in, had only just called for what I think was a B stack. I'm pretty sure they were all starting to rotate to stack up towards B. Exactly. Other than Nafany, of course, who was up close towards main. So maybe 2 seconds later, even that third player who was able to come back pretty quickly maybe would have been a bit too far away. It's so unfortunate. But yeah, of course, great shots being hit across the board from Gambit, making those deagles work. And stealing back what was a pretty important round. As we had said, if Winstrike got up towards 5, at that point, grinding out one more round wouldn't have been that difficult to achieve a decent T-side at least. So Gambit have a chance to try and take back some of that control that they had early on. And have been able to trade out as well in the initial moments. And 1 for 1, not too bad. Hobbit is unfortunately the one who goes down for Gambit, but at least Shiro then is able to trade back onto the operator for Winstrike. Of course, though, a 4-on-4 in general, a position that the T's can be pretty happy with, especially with so much time. They'll just kind of revert back now to a default and have a look across the map, see what's going on, try and probe towards both sides, and then make a decision based on that. The question is, do we see Gambit aggress? Because we already have quite a few times, and in the 4-on-4, normally you can be feeling a little bit uncomfortable, especially if it goes a while without getting any new info.
I think it would be a mistake in this instance. Because we're going to get 1 hit from Winstrike, right? They don't really have the utility to mess around and draw something out or fake something. We got a single smoke down towards the sidewalk. Okay, this was this fake. Now they've got 1 more smoke to play with. But a deep CT-type smoke. There's a player out by Thimbles who's seen past the sidewalk smoke, so he knows no one's coming out. So they don't have any concerns. So now they've got 2 players here. Surprised, honestly, that a third hasn't floated over, but this is going to be the hit. Exile hits the first with that found op. Picked it up off of his teammate's body, Hobbit. Now there's a second one coming in, and this is the way we wanted to see the double up work. This is finally going to plan. Bodies dropping before they actually get through into the hit. So Lackey and Bondic have to try and find something here. Lose damage, but time's whittling down, and oh, you better not die after that timer. Bondic just needs to stay alive, but he's out in the open by E-Box. I don't think he's going to be chased. This ladder player could come in for the backstab, but that's not going to happen. So at least he'll limp into the next, but there's no loss bonus coming with him. And Winstrike, it seemed like they might have a moment to crack this game back open, but Gambit have quickly taken that moment, thrown it under their boot heel, and stepped on it.
Yeah, I was worried there too that he was going to get flanked out from the pop dog, but as you said, Gambit, a big round for them to take in order to just reclaim back control now. They've actually forced Winstrike down onto an eco, other than, of course, that 1 AK. And Bondic can be a scary player. See what he's able to actually do with it, as it looks like it is going to be a bit of a quicker paced one. Again, when they were on the full eco earlier, they actually found some success towards B with that rush. But this time Inters, he hears the footsteps coming, drops down the smoke, and now they'll be able to revert back to a bit more of a normal setup. They have Nafany and Connector as well, who can spot his upper. So yeah, we'll see what can be done here by Winstrike. The Deegs as well, or at least one Deeg available. It's unfortunate that Lackey doesn't have a pistol behind his Kevlar. Perhaps waiting to see if of course, Bondic is able to find success or not. Maybe there is the backup AK player with that Kevlar. But it would have made sense if even Krisen gave him a P250, but he's probably saving towards the op in the next gun round. So it just ends up being a little bit awkward. I'd rather, of course, he had a pistol so he could be a little bit more useful in the round itself. But only now do we actually see the first blood. It's Elian who goes down, the one man who had upgraded his pistol towards the Eagle. And as the rest move towards main, they get that trade eventually on Bondic, or on Daxal rather, but letting him go beforehand, unfortunately, is not really good enough. And Bondic's already low health, although he is, of course, still working with the AK. Okay, catches one more. First Hobbit he took out, can the second up be retrieved?
It should
not quite.
Nope, not quite enough. Needed one more B-hop in there. Couldn't quite find it. I like the attempt, though. I like the attempt. Now, that was kind of an interesting setup towards T-Con, right? You have the one player close up that's potentially dangerous, but then you have the second player to babysit his rifle. That's Nafany, who's behind the train car. Ooh, once Axile goes down and his AK's down to the ground, he can bait that to take out the rest of them. Losing Hobbit was not part of that plan. That's where it gets expensive. That's where there's not a lot of money saved through. And you're going to see them abandon the double up as a result of it. Hobbit doesn't want to deal with it. Oddly, I kind of am okay with this. I've enjoyed the way they've been playing on rifle. I think they've been more resilient, more flexible when they lose that initial engagement. That's a great shot from Shiro. Close up. He was blinded as well, so he was a 90 shot as Nickelback came around the corner. Now they're going to back out of it. We got to square off. And T-Con, it's the USP that finds Krisen through that. So without really seeing anybody, Winstrike now in for a world of hurt.
Yeah, and it's not getting any better, man. Being forced out there, Lackey. The flames are burning his feet, so he had to decide, was it that or the AK bullets? And it ended up being the AK bullets. He wasn't given much of a decision as he was pushed at the same time. Yeah, I mean, this was a very interesting start. We had that, obviously, Shiro blinded getting the first kill towards B, and then the exchange to the smoke with a USP kill even coming in towards main. And at this point, the save seems to have been called for. The issue is Nafany's pushing down behind them. Oh, hang on, no, never mind. They've somehow... Oh, Bondic! Oh, yeah, he's going to realize. There we go. Is he going to get the knife kill? Nice little boost in economy, potentially, but the back isn't fully exposed. He's waiting and,
need the money.
Yeah, eventually just has to take it. The back wasn't fully towards him, though, so I feel like if he went for it, he would have had to get the left, right in, or maybe just the one left and a right. But I don't know. It would have been... I don't think he wanted to risk it. The weapons themselves are a bit more important.
I guess. He doesn't have he didn't have loss bonus in that previous round, though, so that would get him back on track. But I suppose it's not as much of an issue. They're going to go ahead and save this AK and the AWP. And for Gambit... maybe one more gun can be gambled. You don't really want to sacrifice it just because this is a very powerful save angle. Not something that we talk about that often, but it is in this instance. There's a missed shot, though. Now the pressure's on. They're out by the dumpster. You can't peek back out with that op. You know it's being watched by Shiro. If you peek around the corner, you are dead. So now this guy dumpster, this Bondic. Oh, don't die after time, Bondic. He's going to crouch in. There's the punish. Huge kill to find. Elian will survive, but once again, Bondic doesn't get out with loss bonus. This is now 2 rounds that poor Bondic has been punished after the timer. Love the patience here. He was really, I'm going to guess, hoping that the guy would take a step forward, but got panicky that player would come up ladder behind him. Wanted to take the round. So Gambit, double digits in the first half of their opponent's map pick. And we talked about it. We viewed this map as a win must for Winstrike. You could not get away with losing here. And well, I don't think they fulfilled their series win condition. So Overpass is going to be a very tough tale for them if they don't find a huge amount of mojo in that second half.
Yeah, no, this is going to be... It's definitely going to be a tough one. You can't count them out completely in this 5th round either. Both teams have actually, of course, played, as you said. They had both played the same team with both playing Ethereal. They both were able to take a win on Overpass in that. Gambit actually won 16-0 and Winstrike won their 16-4. But yeah, I think obviously they're going against a little bit of a higher level of opposition when they're facing against each other. So that's going to be exciting, but I would agree that if Gambit, especially if they're coming off of a relatively convincing win here on Train, they would definitely be primed for the 2-0. And again, the opening kill, this time with that a main aggression coming in the initial moments from Axile. He then puts a smoke down on the stairs, and that's not normal control you see being taken by the CTs. They've managed to cut off the entire half of the map right now.
How on earth do you get this much control of the side, or on the CT side rather. This is a little bit dangerous, maybe a bit of an overextension. You see players just aren't used to holding that angle, because how often do you have that much control? So maybe they give an opportunity back here. Nickelback is limping on 5 points of health, but his teammates are still reinforced, and they're going to come through. They got 30 seconds to make this happen. They had some found utility. They threw that out. Now comes the hit. They have to deal and contend with Shiro, though. He's blocked off by Smoke. He wants to get back into the angle so that he can support his teammate on the bomb train. And oddly enough, the Flames haven't quite found Inters. He's surrounded by them, but he's still safe. Shiro want to come through the smoke for the punish. Oh, blow up the bomb and get the kill. Shiro gets the trade, all on a Nickelback. The man with no health has now been spotted. He's trying to play a catchy tune. Oh, he is not alone for this world, I don't think. 5 points of the health. Just trying to hang on here. Now he's trying to find the space, but the turn is there. Had to get that kill instantly. The next one happens. So it is an 11-4 half. Strong CT side coming through from Gambit. Looked shaky in the middle there for a moment, but they made this happen.
Yeah,
now, it is halftime, folks. So we are going to take a quick break here and be right back with you after we run some lovely messages for you fine folks.
That I've been told I'm gonna paint a new reality. It doesn't take a lot to turn a person into gold. Yeah, I've been getting good at alchemy. And you can stay inside in the dark, but without it you never let go. And when you're done with hiding and you wanna have control, you and I can find a perfect fantasy. Stepped out looking like a small fire, half glass that filled with desire. Head down, but no, I can't deny it. Life is fun when you're a liar.
We're living for the moment now, we're one with the world. I can't lose this feeling I get. My heart's in the right place, and so is my soul, yeah. I won't take no excuses for it. Love it, need it, live it. I feel like something's missing when I do not have it. I feel it in my bones, gotta find my space. These emotions on my face, taking a toll, I gotta pay it forward. I'll give it all that I can. No matter what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take no for an answer. If it don't hurt me, it makes me stronger. Yeah, no what, I won't let up. It's in my soul, it's in my blood, and I won't take it no more. If I won't, I will be.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we had Gambit there towards the end of the half, managing to end it on a five-round win streak, rather. And they actually kicked that off by winning a round with pistols as well. It was looking like, of course, Winstrike were going to get a good recover T side. But as you said, Mike, they unfortunately fell a little bit short towards the end. But if they get this pistol round, perhaps they can still pull it back.
Perhaps. Ooh, nice act coming in here. Inters actually gets an initial kill. There's pressure on at Ivy. And this is looking very problematic. Lack will get one, but he's being chased down, and he knows that pressure's coming through. He's got hold on. Damage done. Illian will be able to realize that, but he's been caught from behind. The backstab does come through. Now it's all on to Bondic. The man who got caught holding a gun far too many times on the T side is now going to be all alone and trying to regroup towards inner, it seems. He's going up the ladder. He seems to have made a read. There's going to be a smoke down. Nathani's going to be able to get this bomb plant on the bomb train. No problem. They'll likely have enough time to take up post plant positions as well, but where do they think Bondic's coming from?
Oh,
Nathani
well, maybe
still
not
has a
here.
flash. I'll die with that flash on hand. Take it away, Dean.
Yeah, sorry, Hobbit's just tucked in at the moment. I was just going to say I didn't think they were expecting him. I wasn't looking to steal it off you, apologies. But Bondic, you have to take his time there. In towards the back of the lines. He's found himself the kiss, so that's obviously going to be quite helpful. But Hobbit, he's just tucked in at the moment. By the time he shows himself, as long as he takes him off the bomb, even if he wasn't to initially get the kill, then it would have been fine, because he could have just played the last few seconds that were necessary then from heaven. So 12-4, he's going to manage to actually take it, and well then, yeah, Winstrike, it looked like they had themselves a good opportunity there in that one, unfortunately, as the kill was found coming through connector, but Bondic isn't able to finish it off. 4-12, we said that was a necessary win. That's now put Gambit at 6 rounds in a row. They have taken pretty much all momentum in this one, and I mean, all we really seen from Winstrike rather, was that streak of 3 rounds that they were able to get off the back of winning their, well, not the first gun round, because they were already down 6-1 at that point, but one of their first proper full gun rounds anyway. And right now, just a quick round from Gambit. The Mac-10 trying to lead the charge. Emphasis on trying, because Lackey, he's come through with a quick headshot. That's only a Mac-10, unfortunately, to pick up, of course, but we'll see if he can get it. It could definitely help out.
Very spicy indeed. They're going to get the drop on Crizin, but there's the trade from Elian coming in. Now the pressure is on. This bomb will likely be able to make the transition. They got to wait for the smoke to bloom, but then they can get the plant. Inter's going to be responsible for that. It's a critical maneuver. Axile gets a kill in the meantime to bring up back the numbers, but look at the health. Now the Eagles are close. The Eagles are oh so close, but it doesn't matter. Close, but no cigar. Body's hitting the floor, and it's been the case in so many rounds for them. It's going to be the case again. Actually, we'll get one, but no more. No more. At least a little bit of money made off of that, but a 13th round for Gambit. The problem was with going for the force buy in that one, Winstrike have picked this buck all the way down. They're presumably going to take an eco here. And then they're going to be in a situation where they've got to run 10 rounds in a row to tie Gambit. Gambit will be on 14. I mean, this is such a dire situation to be on your own map pick. Yes, it's train. Yes, it's the CT side. Once they get those guns out, if they have the AWP, if they have the rifles, maybe they can make a run of it. But look at the investment into this round. That's going to make it more difficult going forward. You've got the nade, you've got a single smoke coming through, one set of armor, a few pistols here and there. They've whittled down the economy. Could come back to be a problem. Love this spacing for Nathani. He's just gone forward. He's gone aggressive. He's cleared out and laid out the carpet for his teammates who are coming out Ivy. He's like, all right, guys, you don't have to worry about it. No one's there. Just check the close corner and then you're fine. Now we can just manage everyone on the bomb train, and Hobbit's making money, stacking bricks of cash.
Yeah, I mean, well, that was interesting. Nathani just managed to still win through the smoke as he started spamming. I think he was initially starting his spam as a distraction for the player to move out of Ivy, but he just instantly got a kill, and they were like, cool, let's just move with it then. So, good work by Gambit. 14-4, and as you said, yeah, it's going to have to be just flawless. Like, not only the 10 rounds in a row, ideally the remaining 12 is what they'll be aiming for, of course, to get that win in regulation. So, obviously, an incredibly long road right now ahead of Winstrike if they do want to make the victory here happen. And as you had mentioned, moving on towards Overpass next, that is going to be a tough one for Winstrike. So I'd at the very least like to see them start getting going here. Even if they don't manage to pull it all the way back to the win, I'd like to see them start winning out a few gun rounds and start at least feeling themselves. Because this isn't the Winstrike that I'm used to seeing at the very least. And yeah, Crizin, he's gone already. That is not good. He was actually the sole B defender. Thankfully, the rotates coming quickly through connector, but they're not going to find any more success than that initial B defender did, as Nathani currently sits on a hat trick for himself, and Gambit, they've already been propelled up the map point there as the save has been called for.
All right, let's talk about Nathani. You got it. Okay, first of all, that take from Gambit is so ballsy. Instead of using the smokes, they double flashed out for the Z players. That's huge. That's so bold. You are trusting yourself to instantly win that duel, and Nathani rewards that trust. He gets 2 kills. He already had one in the round. Now he's got a 3K. They know where these 2 players are saving. They're going to have map point with all of the pressure onto Winstrike. Winstrike has to save these guns. Nickelback, I think, will enable him to do so. No one else is really close, provided that Elian hits the shot as the player comes around dumpster. That should be fine to keep them going here, but still, it's going to be just 2 guns. Now you need 11 rounds in a row to play for overtime. I do not see a world in which this happens, especially because Winstrike at this point just look like they're being outplayed by Gambit at every stretch, at every turn. Nafany, sitting at 22 kills as well. 22 and 12. 22 kills through 19 rounds. He has been the standout player by far for Gambit. Whether it was pushing T-Con, pushing the envelope over on that attacking side, or on their defensive side, rather, or now just wiping the floor with everybody on Winstrike as their tease. He's been incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, he's more than a capable player, but he wouldn't have been the first player that I looked at to step up on a level like this. So that's good to see, because you know you can get it from Shiro and Axile as well. To have Nafany also showing up, it is just it bodes well for Gambit. Definitely a scary force to contend with, and of course with already a man advantage into what could be the final round, they may be able to put an end to this one pretty quickly. Look at the odds now on GG.bet. 1.02 for Gambit, and then it was 6 point something there for Winstrike. They were still showing as Gambit youngsters, guys. They're no longer the youngsters. They're showing that experience right now.
They've all grown up.
Yeah,
They've got Daddy Hobbit onto the roster. See those meaty crossed arms? Now you can see they're making Winstrike the youngsters. I think they should change the name to the Gambit Daddies. Right.
Gambit Daddies.